As if Chrono Trigger wasn't good enough. Chrono Trigger is one of those incredible platformer role-playing games developed by Squaresoft in 1995. Successor to Final Fantasy VI, it's one of those games that has a composition by the incredible Uematsu, to say the least, who did the legendary Final Fantasy franchise, role-playing game that revolves around time travel with your protagonist, Chrono, in a world where he gets transported back to the Middle Ages and beyond. It's an incredible game with a live-action sequence for the fighting, and where you fight Magus and Lavos, who's planning to take over the world. In this case, however, with this soundtrack, it's the legendary Mitsuda who does the soundtrack for Chrono Trigger, all except for the one battle theme by Uematsu, who is an ingenious like for Chrono Cross, the successor to Chrono Trigger, and Xenogears, and many, many more. I think the anchor of these games has always been the soundtrack, especially to Final Fantasy, whereas Final Fantasy VII was one of the few games, along with Mario Brothers, who simply revolutionized the industry, not to mention all the summons, such as my personal favorite here, Hades from Final Fantasy VII, originally ported on a PlayStation 1, but for me it's just an age thing, but personally wouldn't play through it again, and what went into the game was unbelievable. And for some of you who may not know, that the Final Fantasy legend is based on an old Chinese legend of rebels that fight opposed to people taking over the world. You might notice as well a similarity between Dragon Ball Z animation and Chrono Trigger animation, which is also done by the same animator. For me as a kid living in America, these video games personally give me such an incredible feeling of great nostalgia. Changing Snes cartridge batteries is relatively cheap now to do nowadays, and you may also want to do that because once that runs out warning, you won't be able to save. So make sure you do that and purchase a soldering iron and the relevant tools required to do the process. Mom may have not known, but I actually, from two video games, Illusion of Time and Chrono Trigger, wanted to have my hair cut like the character Frieden from Illusion of Time, similar around the time that this photograph was taken. Just thought I'd let you know. Nowadays, folks, retrospectively, there's been a lot of new add-ons that have come leaps and bounds for the old SNES and Mega Drive consoles, so it might be worth checking out these things. And look out for counterfeits, because they're easily spotted with glossy pictures, or high text, or simply different shaped motherboards once you open the cartridge, or you can also buy the game bits, which are relatively cheap nowadays off the likes of eBay or other sites where Super Nintendo doesn't want you opening such things. Not to mention that Illusion of Time is one of my personal favorite games of that era, which brings back such great memories for me as a child. The character of all people to invent the necklace time machine that transports Chrono Trigger back in time is, of course, his good friend Luca. But wait a minute, hold on a second. Before we go any further, Chrono Trigger, needless to say, is timeless. However, Chrono Cross, in which this footage is from, is an exceptional game with amazing gameplay, and of course enhanced graphics, set 15 years after the events of its prequel, Chrono Trigger, with some similar characters along the way. The genius inventor, of course, of the epoch time machine, French word for time, of course, is a man from the post-apocalyptic world that you reach in Chrono Trigger, where you also meet Robo with a creature, a mysterious man named Balthazar, who invents a machine at this point, which is dead, who programs his creatures to fill out his amazing invention of time travel. So, to say the least, I think that Chrono Trigger players have seen some notable guests that helped the party on their way, and not in time before dinner to save the world in Chrono Trigger's world. If you like, please comment, subscribe,